So I'm listening to Clay Crane right now. Clay Crane, some shit like
Anthony,
that.
yo, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wilmington, North Carolina, the amount of race massacres that happen all over the country.
And this guy just called in saying that he's never voted before. And, you know, he's looking for information on why he should vote for the Democrats. So this dude is just selling them on it, right?
If it's safe, of course, you know, wearing a mask.
He's talking about why the guy should vote.
Bring your kids with you.
And he says that they want to keep you asleep, man. I'm glad you're awake. They want to keep you asleep.
I didn't see that.
And he talks about the Republican side and the Democrat side. And fair enough, the Republican side is fucked off. Yeah, they got, you know, there's not much representation there. But that's his largest selling point.
Is it too late for me to change to a Democrat though before you tell me?
I don't believe it is, but you can just go to whenwevote.org or vote.org and check it out. But you also got to check if it's open voting in that state. If it's open voting in that state, you'll be fine either way. But I want Alan to speak to you as well too, because he's been on both sides. Alan, explain to our friend Anthony the differences you've seen between Democrats and Republicans.
And I'm closer, and I'm leaning a little bit more towards libertarian, but in my perspective, it's a little bit more about the budget and the level of government.
It says budget and level of government.
Believe more in a central government because sort of control everything. Whereas the Republican Party is supposed to believe in a local government and local rule and local sort of hands-off with regards to everything.
You can hear what he's saying right now. He's giving examples of what the Democrats believe versus Republicans believe, and what separates the two. And he's saying it circles more around government. But the analogy that he's giving is an older analogy. It's old school. It's more like it's the meme that's always been generated about, you know, small government Republican beliefs versus large government beliefs for Democrats. When actually neither one of those things are true. Those are both lies. They both believe in government. It's just that Republicans believe in government for pushing forward corporatist activities, right? And benefits. And Democrats, they believe in large government, true enough, but large government for, of course, social programs, but again, corporatist benefit.
One of the things Republicans believe is if we give all the money to the rich, it'll just trickle down to the middle class.
This is fair. Folks. This is fair.
It's called trickle-down economics.
That's fair.
An ongoing Republican
That's something true that most Republicans believe. Here's the trick about it, though, or the funny thing about it. The Democrats engage in the same fucking trickle-down economics because they pass bills for money to go up. Like they all fucking signed it on the CARES Act and many acts before that. The bailout from the 2008 crash or whatever, where they sent all that money for all the business to get all that money, and the same thing this time again. That's that money going up. You know what I'm saying? Not coming to us. It's the trickle down shit is a lie. They don't even believe in trickle down. They say trickle down. They don't believe in trickle down. They just believe in getting money for the rich, not doing shit for the poor, because the poor are the working class our structure is engineered in such a way that we are to work and produce for the rich. There is no trickle down.
So if there's one thing you want to know, it's that Republicans believe in more money for the rich and it'll trickle down to everybody else. And that is proven to not work. Anthony, I just looked it up. You can vote either
if that is the case,
when you go
Clay Kane, if that is the case, and true enough on Republicans, if that is not the case for the Democrats, as for the argument that you're making, then explain how Pelosi goes in, and I've made this argument many times, explain how Pelosi goes in and works out deals with Mitch McConnell.
I appreciate you, man.
You see them? Listen to this.
Of course. And I want you
his brother don't know no better. He don't know no different. So he believes people are telling him the truth.
Except for Laura and
he making mistakes on Laura.
What's about the Rev? I know I listen to Heather B. I don't listen to Rev and I don't listen to Laura, but I listen to everybody else. I promise I do. But I'm sorry for that, but I listen to y'all faithfully though, man.
Oh, it's all good, Anthony.
And you're getting misinformation.
You can always check us out on demand, and I hope I gave you some perspective. So yeah.
And this is why black people keep voting and giving their votes away in the Democratic presidential election.
When you have time, go to
joebiden.com.
At least
you hear the shit, he's shilling for Joe Biden.
And I want you to read his plan on black folks specifically.
Which is garbage.
Trump has like 4 points.
Fuck Trump. Nobody expects Trump to have it. We're not voting for Trump never. But you're going to mislead your people to vote for fucking Democrats.
Post-secondary education, you're going to want to know for your kids. Health care, the whole bit.
Dude, it's a chill, man. And I wouldn't be surprised if Clay Kane hasn't worked on some fucking...
Democrats on the other side...
been some kind of fucking speaking... Well, he's a speaking mouth, a speaking head now. A talking head now. But I wouldn't be surprised if Clay Kane... If Clay Kane hasn't been fucking a surrogate or an aide or something like that on one of these Democratic tickets. If not, just working for one of these Democrats and hoping to make his way in. It's black misleadership, man. It's black misleadership. I never hear from these cats who's supposed to be our leaders, who's supposed to be our voices, who's supposed to be our voices, right? I never hear from these people about gathering and organizing our people to create our own as far as political parties or political activism, right? Now you have many people like Reverend Barber and such that are doing those things, but those aren't the media personalities I'm talking about, like the radio and all this kind of shit, because those are the voices that more of our people hear. So when you talk about a Reverend Barber, when you're talking about Nina Turner, when you're talking about Cornel West, you're talking about people that the only way you're talking about voices that people like me who are into this shit's going to hear about. You dig what I'm saying? But when you're talking about regular, everyday black folks, man, everyday people in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Working class people, working class minorities, they turn on these stations and shit. I love Ricky Smiley, but I'll bring up Ricky Smiley too, even though Ricky Smiley, as far as I know, is a major fan of Nina Turner, right? But that aside, when you talk about these cats, those are the voices that our people hear every single day. Like in Atlanta, you know, V103, Ryan Cameron and shit like that. Those are the voices that we hear every single day, right? And I don't expect them to be super knowledgeable on all of the politics shit, right? But what I would like is that they would, especially when they're telling our people to go and do certain things, right? I would like for them to be informed or gain information. But those of us who are in the know, who are like political voices, like fucking Clay Kane, like fucking what's her name, Karen Hunter, shit like that, like Laura Ingraham. I like Laura Ingraham. I'm not saying that negative about Laura Ingraham. I love me some Laura Ingraham. I'm biased with that one. She can say whatever the fuck she want to say. I love Laura Ingraham. That aside, my point is this. They're shilling, man. You never hear them fucking. They'll talk about Fannie Lou Hamer and all these great black civil rights activists and shit. You know what I'm saying? But they never go so far as to cover the heart of the original message. The heart of the original message was that, one, for our people to move forward, for our people to succeed, for our people to come into our own, we have to have our own. We have to build our own. We can't wait for them to give to us, right? So if that is the case, if that is like the origin of the civil rights thinking for the most part, right? Why is it then that our voices in media are always shuffling us into these damn Democrats' hands? Like, I don't get that. I understand when it comes to local elections, voting, you know what I'm saying, that's down ballot, it's referred to as down ballot. I understand at those times definitely making that choice between Republican, Democrat, it's all good, and a independent if you have that option, right? Because those elections affect you like specifically, because those are for your area, those are for your you know what I'm saying, your county, your city, your state, you know what I'm saying? But when we talk about the national elections, what they tell us, and I've said this a number of times on my channel here and even on my Facebook and all that shit, what they tell us is go vote for this old bigot, right? And so because he's better than or not as bad as the other bigot, and then we're gonna hold him accountable later. They never do that. They never fucking do that.
How many people actually graduated from HBCUs that were actually keynote speakers like almost every night? That Representative Bernie Thompson is a graduate of an HBCU who hit the gravel to ring in
Senator Harris, Senator Harris sort of for the VP, and that she departed the stage to a Mary J. Blige song.
You hear this shit?
Yeah, she sure did. She parted it for that. You loved it. I know you heard that, MJ. I know you did. Still trying to get her on the show, mind you. Let me see here. Let's go to...
These motherfuckers talking about this is the most important election ever. And you talking about the vice president-elect or vice president nominee walking up the stage to a goddamn Mary J. Blige song. I love Mary J. Blige, I'm just saying.
You know, I appreciate you breaking that down for that young man. But the reason that a lot of
good call. Watch how you go.
People are registered Republicans and traditionally vote Republican because the Republicans vote for their interests because they're in the military, they get bigger raises, they get better equipment, so on and so on. So,
that said, rarely does the money that goes to the defense budget go directly to the soldiers. It's going to the equipment. It's going to the fucking contractors.
I don't care if Donald Trump was running this time. I'm voting Democrat without a doubt.
So wait, let me ask you. You don't think that Obama did a lot for veterans? I mean, one of the things was he brought down the veteran homeless rate by 50%.
Here's the other thing.
You don't think
you can't say anything bad about Republicans. You can't say anything bad about Obama when calling to urban radio.
You think Bush protected veterans more than Trump than Obama?
Okay, so
neither one of those motherfuckers protected veterans.
Straighten this out. Trump is not a Democrat or Republican. He's a Trumpist. Period.
I know, but Paul, he was elected by Republicans.
Yeah, but he was told by a Democrat to run.
But Trump wouldn't have won as a Democrat. And to be honest with you, Trump's policies are not that different from Ronald Reagan and Bush. Let's really just be clear. His rhetoric is more insane, but his policies are not that different. Go ahead.
So let's be honest. Trump was a lifetime Democrat. Supported Democrat, and then he ran as a Republican.
Because the Clintons told him to run. The Clintons convinced him to run. You see what I'm saying?
I got you on that. Nonetheless, he is the Republican president. Nonetheless. So, do you feel like you feel like Bush did more for...
You can't even have a conversation about the current situation. If you bring up Obama, that stops everything because they got to go and defend Obama.
In general.
And if you don't swing their way on the Obama thought, they'll hang up on you or end the call. Or the call goes no further.
So is your answer yes?
You see what I'm saying? Listen to him. Listen to him.
President Clinton, not knocking neither one of their presidencies.
Why can't you knock their presidencies? Why can't you criticize
dramatically? And we lost.
Why can't we criticize any of these motherfuckers?
They did slash the military. You're right about that, Paul. And I would say that Bush. I mean, I thought that was a good thing for me. I think slashing the military, I think the military budget is insane.
Right. So then do you have any opinion on the fact that the Democratic House, the Democratic-led House, right, just voted in unison with fucking Republicans to not fucking slash the budget this time around?
I don't want to go back and forth with you, but I just think that, I don't know. It is what it is, brother.
Garbage.
The governor of North Carolina, who tweeted out Black Lives Matter on May 31st, can release Ronnie Long right now, but he hasn't. He's a Democrat. He's up for re-election. So I'm asking all of y'all to put pressure on Governor Roy Cooper to release Ronnie Long now. Call 919-814-2000, option number 3, or email him at roy.cooper, COOPER, @nc.gov. You can also tweet him, hashtag free Ronnie Long now, copy me on the tweet. There is going to be a protest in Raleigh, North Carolina for Ronnie Long. You can go to freeronnielongnow.org for more information. I've been doing a lot of work. I have some folks on top of this. I'm trying to get more attention around it. But if you believe Black Lives Matter, say something for Ronnie Long. It really is a heinous story.
We are a cult of personality. Whether you want to believe it or not, whether it's cool or not, bad or not, it doesn't matter. We are a cult of personality, right? Meaning that in many cases, the masses need a face to get behind. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you would typically think, okay, listen, this shit is important, or this shit is not important, or this shit is good, or this is bad, or whatever the case is, it affects you. You should take some time to learn about it, do something about it, right? No, this is America, B. We don't do that. In America, it's got to be somebody popular or famous. It's all a popularity contest, right? So, that being said, there are levels to this shit, right? So when you have these personalities that we all follow, right? They have an immense amount of power. And so what you're looking for, what you're hoping for is that when it comes to our people, they will lead them in the right directions. Does that always happen? No. Does that sometimes happen? No. You know what I'm saying? Because it would seem that, and this is why the new media is so important, is YouTube and shit, these videos, all of this shit. This is why it's so important, because it gives voice to, it gives more voices. There are no gatekeepers. You dig what I'm saying? There are no gatekeepers here. Anyone can have an opinion, anyone can share it, versus the radio and the TV news and all of that shit, these TV talk shows. I mean, even Bill Maher has goddamn lost. Trump has been a catalyst point that caused a lot of motherfuckers to lose their fucking minds, right? And give a lot of feckless, gutless ass people room to be the pussies they would have been, but just quieter, right? Now they can be all out with their pussiness, right? It's ridiculous. I listened to Karen Hunter the other day. This is like a week or two ago. And this cat was saying how, you know, he's doing everything different. He's moving different. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody, we got to do different things in 2021. We got to move differently, B. We got to move differently, B. That's why I'm voting for Joe Biden. How you moving differently? Voting for a dude that's been around for 41 years and I'm not going to go well, I guess I got to go down the list for people that just watching for the first time. You moving differently by voting for the motherfucker that put in place a lot of the same bullshit you're dealing with right now, and he's responsible for, to put it simply, right? Crime bill and all of that shit, the wars that he's voted for and not want us to come out of, all of that shit he has a part of, right? That aside, the major thing is that I want to do a separate video on the whole Democratic convention thing this week, because it was a terrible thing, but very quickly they sent a message with that. Everybody got caught up in, you know, they had Kerry Washington, you know what I'm saying? They had, you know what I'm saying? They had Blackish up there, you know what I mean? And we love these personalities. Again, called a personality. And then they put a few black faces here and there so they can say Black Lives Matter. But no policy has been passed. No policy's been passed. No legislation. No none of that shit. They're pretending like, and I'm speaking. I'm critiquing Democrats because I'm speaking specifically to Democrats and those who are poised to vote democratically on this ticket, right? To select a Democratic candidate on this ticket, right? Especially if you are a minority. But if you are working class, poor, minority, we all together right now. You dig what I'm saying? Because it's a classist issue. They will not deal with class. They will not touch it. That whole fucking convention, they didn't touch class. Race. Fucking Kamala Harris even made the goddamn COVID-19. She even made the corona a racist thing. You dig what I'm saying? Now, I'm black. I understand the idea of racism and facing racists and dealing with systemic racism, right? But goddamn, you know what I'm saying? I don't think the virus is racist, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's class. But they didn't touch class the whole time, because if you touch class, you have to deal with the money. And that's what the issue is. This shit is all about the money. I can't say it enough. Clay Crane, fucking Karen Hunter's on right now, right? It's about the money. I said it before in a video. As soon as they elected Kamala Harris, or as soon as they nominated Kamala Harris as the vice president pick for Biden, Karen switched gears and went straight into come spend that money with us. This is on the same call where she's talking to the dude about, you know, moving a different way, doing things a different way. You know what I'm saying? Different precedents. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck on out of here, man. Get the